As I sit here playing Ocarina of Time on my Switch 2, I wanted to offer some thoughts about why I think it's so challenging to do an in person live debate as somebody who represents good faith progressive positions. Because it's something I've been thinking about a lot. So, first of all, debating itself is kind of silly. I don't think it's silly to, in a sense, debate things, right? But literally, we're going to get two people at a microphone and they're just going to sort of like yell at each other for an audience in real time. I think it's silly because in real life, if I told you something that didn't sound true or sounded like it was maybe omitting important context, what you could do is you could say, okay, hey, I don't think that is right. I don't know if that's incorrect in a literal sense or if it's just kind of leaving out context that, would give a different impression. But I gotta be honest, I don't have an answer for you on that right now. So let me spend a day, looking into this and then get back to you. And then you can do that. I do that in my real life all the time, right? When I'm talking with people, I'm like, oh, I haven't heard of that. Let me look into it. And then I will. I'll spend like a few hours looking into it, and then you can discover, whether or not the person was sort of accurately representing reality with their statement. But in a debate, you cannot do that. You cannot, in a debate, say, hold on, guys. This person just said something that I feel like I remember reading why that's not true, but it's been a while. So can we pause for half an hour? You can't do that. You have to have anticipated everything the other person's going to say in advance and then memorized all the rebuttals. And then it's a competition of like whose flowchart goes deeper, whose memorized flowchart goes deeper. And then combine that with the fact that a lot of right-wing talking points are bad faith. And notice how I said talking points, not right-wingers, because I think there's a lot of right-wingers who, in good faith, are convinced by bad faith talking points. For example, there is a statistic that gets cited a lot that after gender-affirming surgery for transgender people, there's a spike in indicators of poor mental health. That statistic leaves out the fact that that spike is the same as it is for any equivalently major surgery, because it sucks to recover from a surgery. And after the surgery recovery is complete, you actually see a massive increase in mental health outcomes, right? So it's sort of a bad faith, misleading omission. But if someone tells you that, like on a debate in front of a bunch of people, you can't go, that doesn't sound right. 1 second, let me, look into that. You can't. You just have to say, oh, I don't think that's true. And then you look silly. So I feel like it is so hard to succeed in a debate format representing good faith positions against bad faith talking points.